And I was like, oh yes! Now I remember. Because when it comes with poetry, it's just not about writing stuff down. It's about making sure that X rhymes with Z, and Z has the same consonant. There's an alliteration. It's stupid. Ugh, I hate it. Kristen, Oh my goodness, so yes, my screenwriting professor was like, so before we start class, I just want to talk about what I said last week. And I was like, oh, thank you. Thank you. It's like, thank you for saying that, you know, what you said is not... How are you? My brain hurts. It hurts. No, so she apologized, and I was like, okay, I can like you now. Thank you. No, so we had to pick a scene from a television show, TV show, or movie that apparently I don't like. She first said like it's like a conflict, but like describe, you know, shows the character, the protagonist, in a meaningful way. Okay. And so I turned it in yesterday because I was like, there are so many. Because like when it was conflict, I was like, oh my goodness, I know what film it needs to be. Titanic, the sinking, because it had to be a 5 to 10 minute clip, and I was like, the sinking of the Titanic, like, you know, from when it hits the iceberg and, you know, all that chaos. Because yeah, and I was like, oh my god, that's it's filmed beautifully. Then I was like, no, and so then I'm thinking, I was like, what kind of scene am I gearing towards? And I was like, oh my goodness, I know what scene I'm going to do, because you have to also talk about this scene. I was like, I'm gonna do Order 66, because it's shot beautifully. I was like, and I can talk about it. And I searched it up on YouTube, and I was like, okay, so it's not, none of them are 5 minutes. Well, one's close, and so I start watching it. I get past Bly. It's like, okay. Alright, we're past Commander Bly. Okay. Okay, another Jedi dies. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. Then we see Plo. I was like, we're fine! We're fine! It's literally like, okay, we're gonna choose a different scene. And I was like, oh my goodness, the best scene in all of Star Wars. Anakin versus Obi-Wan. And so, because I don't know if you remember, but like this way that it's shot is like it's this fight, Anakin versus Obi-Wan, but it's also Sidious and Yoda fighting. But I didn't really want that. I kind of just wanted Obi-Wan and Anakin, so I find a clip that was 6 minutes long. You know what the problem is with this clip?
What?
A, it was in really bad quality. B, it skipped over the most memeable line. It's over, Anakin. I have the high ground.
Oh no!
It just goes, you know, because they're, you know, he's on like the little platform and Obi-Wan's on the hill, and I was like, okay, here it comes. Skips it and goes, don't try it. Like, it even goes, you'll underestimate the power. Nope, it skipped that one too. So I'm like, really? Really? And there were a couple other people who were like, are you kidding me? It skipped that line. And so then when I had to talk about it, I was like, I am so sorry. I really am. No, Cookie Monster and Anakin Elmo. No, so then I had to talk about it, you know, like, why did I choose this scene? And I was like, well, this is, Revenge of the Sith. I love Revenge of the Sith. You know, it's one of my favorite Star Wars movies. And I was like, and this scene in particular is John Williams at his best. Or one of his best, because John Williams has beautiful track record. It's like, this is beautiful. And I was like, and the story itself, like, it's the end to the beginning. No, and then somebody sitting right next to me, obviously not right next to me, but she loves Revenge of the Sith, okay, because I was like, this is my favorite Star Wars, and I honestly think it's one of the, if not the best movie, the second best movie, because you can argue that Return of the Jedi is better. Okay, alright, that's fine, whatever.
Right.
And so, and so we were discussing, because then somebody else was like, yeah, talking about like John Williams, because in this song in particular, you can hear Duel of the Fates as well, because that's why some people complain about it. Like, well, it's just a better Duel of the Fates. Does that undermine? No. Shut up. There's actually multiple songs in Revenge of the Sith is one of my favorite original soundtracks in any movie. Titanic's up there as well. But a lot of the songs have like because in Attack of the Clones there's, oh my god, I forgot the name, but Anakin and Padme's love theme, and then in one of the songs in Revenge of the Sith, when it's, okay, alright, Kristen, how long has it been since you've seen Revenge of the Sith? I'm going to describe a scene here, okay, ready? Anakin is either about to talk to Mace Windu about Lord Sidious, and Padme is looking at the window, and it's like the contrast between Anakin and Padme, I think. I actually don't remember. But anyway, in that song, it's called Padme's Reminiscence. But if you listen carefully, you can hear across the stars. That's what the stupid theme is. You can hear across the stars in several points in the song. It's very faint, but I love it. You're not streaming anything else today? No, probably not. I'm gonna lag out. Bangu, can you still hear me? Bangu? Bangu? Bangu?
I lost you for a moment.
Yeah, I know. Well, anyway, so Across the Stars.
You can hear Across the Stars, yeah.
Like faintly in a couple of places, and I freaking love that song. And then in Battle of the Heroes, and then Anakin versus Obi-Wan, you can hear Duel of the Fates. And I was like, well, yeah, because this is like the conclusion. But I can't remember what scene it is, what music it is, but I want to say it's when Anakin, Vader burns, and then he gets taken by Sidious. You can hear Vader's theme, and then it becomes more like obvious, you know, that it's Vader's theme. And I was like, John Williams is a genius. Okay.
He really was.
And then my professor was like, yeah, I got to see John Williams in concert, and I was like, why did you have to say that? Why? Why'd you have to say that? But anyway, the person who loves Revenge of the Sith, because when I said it's my favorite and I think one of the best Star Wars movies, she goes, yes! Yes! Anyway, so we were talking about it, you know, like, she's like, cause she was like, this is such a hard scene to watch. And I was like, oh my goodness, yes, I actually had a hard time watching this. And so I was like, yeah, but I was going to choose Order 66, but I couldn't get through it. And so then we were talking about Obi-Wan, and then, you know, the Obi-Wan show and the Ahsoka show, and all of that. I was like, yes. And then she was like, have you seen the Book of Boba Fett? No. Oh, you've got to. And I was like, you don't want to know what I haven't seen? Because I haven't seen Rebels, haven't seen Rogue One, haven't seen Bad Batch, haven't seen The Mandalorian.
Okay. Bad Batch isn't that good. Season 7.
Anyway,
Well,
you're not streaming
season
anything
2
else
goes
today, right?
better.
Yeah, probably not. I highly doubt my class will end super early or early enough to. But yeah, she loved my. She was like, yeah, I should have chosen this. But yeah, I was watching it. Oh my god, I love this scene. See, you know what the best? Okay, so then somebody was like, so do you think people sometimes like action scenes just for the action and not necessarily for what's going on? It's like, are you kidding me? Part of why I love this scene is because of the dialogue. You know? I was like, in the beginning, you know, at the start, you know, where, your new empire, my allegiance is to the republic, to democracy. And the ending? Are you kidding me? It's like, don't get me wrong, the action sequence is awesome. Okay?
But
you want to actually know something super cool about the sword fighting? Obviously, they weren't fighting on lava, but they actually, Hayden Christensen and, I was gonna say Obi-Wan Kenobi.
What do you mean they weren't fighting on lava?
Ewan McGregor actually did the sword fighting. Like, they were trained to do the sword fighting, so that is them actually performing.
No,
actually
you mean they
sword
weren't fighting
fighting.
on lava?
No, unfortunately. Kristen,
The
I'm gonna be,
lava was
you can't be that close to lava and survive.
What do you mean they weren't on Mustafar?
It's like, if we get rid of, like, some of the dialogue in the prequels, it is a great story arc. You know, some of the dialogue might not be the best, but that's okay.
I hate that.
It's okay.
Sorry,
It's fine.
Sinky's breaking my mind with the revelation that it wasn't filmed on Mustafar.
I know, right? No, because then, somebody, the other clips we watched were a couple from Joker. I haven't seen Joker. I don't really care. See, the thing is, I don't really care because nothing will beat Heath Ledger for me. So I don't even want to watch it.
It's true.
Because it's really sad that Heath Ledger, even this happened with Joaquin Phoenix, is that the role that they went so far, like, they actually had to seek, well, not Heath Ledger. Joaquin Phoenix had to get therapy so he can kind of get out of the funk he was in. No, and then we watched Good Will Hunting, which I've actually never seen, but it has Robin Williams in it.
Yeah.
And he plays, like, a counselor-type therapist person. And it's just really sad to see because of, like, how his life ends. And I was like, can we not talk about this scene, though? Can we
How about with this one?
How about we just don't? Yeah, let's not talk about this scene. No, and then another one we watched was, Avatar. James Cameron Avatar.
I figured this.
And it was like the humans, destroying the tree. Okay, I've never... Okay, I've had to have seen Avatar, you know, just because it, you know, was super popular. But I'm watching, I was like, I don't remember any of this. And so then we were discussing, and while I'm watching it, I was like, this movie beat Titanic? Are you kidding me? No, because then we were talking about it. Because, my professor's never seen Avatar. And so, people thought it was like a really deep way to portray, colonialism. And I was like, dudes, it's not even hidden. Okay? This isn't some, new way to get colonialism. Or maybe they're like, you know, it's like under like the, if you dive deeper. I'm like, no, it's actually not. It's not. Like, they're not hiding it or anything. It's not a hidden thing. It's not that deep of a message. It really isn't. No, you know what somebody said, they read in an article, in a review of it once? This is how I'm gonna see, Avatar from now on. No, I'm talking Avatar, the James Cameron movie.
The one with the blue people.
Blue people. This person was like, yeah, I read a review once that called Avatar a non-Disney-fine, I can't remember what it was, Pocahontas, but in with aliens or in outer space or whatever, I can't remember, on another planet. I was like, oh my goodness, outer space Pocahontas. That is exactly what Avatar is.
When you put it that way, yeah.
I was like, yeah, you know, I think this portrays colonialism. No shit, Sherlock.
Hey, I think it's not hidden, but okay.
Wow. I
Breaking
mean,
news.
Don't get me wrong. I mean, I can't honestly remember it, but the whole time I'm like, this story is not new. And so, but the best part is, one of the best parts, I think, about Avatar is that even before it got super popular, because of graphics, you know, whatever, film-wise.
It did groundbreaking stuff in the camera work.
It already got, like, 6 sequels. Like, James Cameron has about 5 movies planned for the Avatar series.
Number 4.
I'm like, what?
Actually, I think they're up to 3. I know they're doing 2. I think it might be 4. You know, what would help is if Disney actually let them release stupid movies.
Well, I think COVID had a little part of it.
They keep delaying it.
I think COVID had a little part of it.
They keep delaying it, and it's kind of annoying. Just let them release movies, please. I'm sure they're going to be fantastic and do some more groundbreaking things. Because of what he did with the camera. Yeah, so I made a friend today. I don't know who she is. Don't know her name, but I made a friend. That's nice. She was like, wow! I made a friend. What's their name? Oh, I don't know what their name is, but I made a friend.
It's so nice to meet somebody who feels the same way about Revenge of the Sith as I do. And I was like, yes!
Yes.
Yes. But yeah, I just don't think some people appreciated Revenge of the Sith.
I mean...
Shut up.
No, of course not. Your opinion is wrong! Your opinion
I love
is
saying that. I'd be like, oh my goodness, no,
incorrect.
you're wrong. But that's my opinion. No, you're still wrong. But how can opinion be wrong? Well, A, that's kind of the point, okay? I'm being a bit facetious.
Your opinion is clearly incorrect.
Do people maybe just like the action that's happening?
No!
No, ma'am.
No! I mean, yes, the action is awesome, but no.
Yes, but no, not really, ma'am.
But yeah, then we got to like, you were my brother Anakin, you were the chosen one. Give you and McGregor an Oscar.
Super duper exciting gaming news involving Star Wars? Ha,
yeah.
I could tie this in. Alright, EA said today, Respawn is not only making a sequel to Fallen Order, they're working on 2 other Star Wars games at the same time. That's right. This is either going to be great or backfire. Because you don't really want to boast that you're working on 3 games at the same time.
Your puppy meowed like a cat?
That's nice.
Oh, Jack's made some weird noises too.
Anyway, Respawn is not only making a sequel to Fallen Order, they also have a group of people making a first-person shooter set in the Star Wars universe.
So either like a clone or...
Yeah. The shooter is being headed by the Medal of Honor team. We have lost objective. And I forgot who's making the strategy game. I'm sure it'll be some. But it's not Battlefront 3. To like kill anyone going MD for shoot a Star Wars to the Battlefront 3. No. It's not that. because they're working their next shooter is Battlefield 2042. They're gonna try to make that last a bit longer anyway. So yeah, Star Wars games. This is like 5 Star Wars games in development now. We've got KOTOR remake, Fallen Order 2.
The
one from Massive Entertainment that I kind of forgot what name it is.
Is that Quantum? Because isn't
no,
people
the one that
behind,
the one that's being made by the Division developers.
Oh.
I totally forgot what they're calling it though, but I remember it being announced because it was the first Star Wars game to be announced since EA's, well, not losing the license, but losing exclusivity to the license. And then Eclipse
it's Battlefront
is one
5.
by Quantum. Eclipse is the one by Quantum.
Yes, Quantum.
It's not gonna last development though. And then we have our Mystery 2, unnamed EA, Respawn ones. Finally, Star Wars games. The thing I've ever wanted ever since I was a child. Also, we have LEGO Star Wars, which is totally still valid, and a valid part of the Star Wars community.
Best Star Wars game.
I wouldn't go that far.
What would you call the best Star Wars game?
KOTOR.
Oh, yeah, you know what? That's actually, yeah.
And then I would put LEGO Star Wars at a second place because it is the best Star Wars. It's one of the best Star Wars. But it just follows the movies, so is that fair?
See, I don't know, man. I really don't.
You can't really go wrong with LEGO in the first place.
Did you choose violence today when you woke up?
I
mean, I could go on a rant about how I hate poetry.
Why not, Sinky, do it?
Like, why do I dislike poetry? I mean, you know.
Do you remember I Know About Poetry?
And then I remember sonnets and rhyming. A-B-A. And I'm just like, yes, that would be why. That's why.
And this would be why I hate poetry.
I didn't get to talk about Revenge of the Sith enough, though.
Don't worry, we can talk all about Revenge of the Sith when we watch it together.
Because then, like, I'm just kind of sad that I actually don't know her name. So I can't be like, yeah, you know, we should discuss, well, I mean, I would have been like, yeah, we should discuss Revenge of the Sith more, but they have to be like, we won't actually do that. You're not you and you're hungry? Do I need a Snickers? I don't have a Snickers.
Need a Snickers, you're not you and you're hungry. Sneaky.
No, and then for my contemporary issues, we're talking about relationships.
Oh, how exciting.
How about French fries? Yes, I could always. Actually, speaking of French fries, I actually do have some French fries. Thank you for reminding me. Yeah, no, it was just, because then we had to, like, write poetry, and I was like, my brain is not working. Oh, shoot, no. You're gonna hear a microwave, probably. It was just, I hate poetry.
It's okay. It's okay.
No, because then we were discussing metaphors and similes, and I was like, we are not spending time talking about what is a metaphor and what is a simile.
You're adults.
But we did.
You are adults.
We did not. And I was like, good, because if we have to go over what is a simile and a metaphor, because some people don't know what a simile and a metaphor is.
You're an adult. You should know that by now.
I'm not looking forward to contemporary issues. But that's okay.
Oh, I'm gonna take this one. So. That's okay. Oh.
That is okay. Do you eat French fries with salt or no salt? I mean, not too much salt.
A little salt.
Too much salt?
It's the salt filled with my tear from my
Okay,
tear.
see, I don't like any French fries that is too seasoned. This Campus Cat Cooks, I love them, but sometimes
that's valid,
they put too much seasoning on it, or they have one French fry with all the seasoning and then one French fry without seasoning, and I'm like, what the heck?
Make up your mind.
But yes, salt, some salt.
Why?
I gotta have a little bit, potassium, no, sodium chloride, but not enough.
Very fair, maybe.
See, but in Valley Fair, they have really good French fries. This one place has very good French fries, but it's super salty. And I'm like, wow, why does it have to be super salty? And Mother, with her infinite knowledge, goes, because the more salt you eat, the thirstier you're gonna get.
That's right.
Which means you're going to buy a drink.
Ploy.
And I was like, oh my god, Mom, you're right!
This is why Disney sells that crappy Dasani water, which is more salt than really water. It's just to make you buy more.
Like, Mom, you are a genius.
It is a ploy to make you buy water.
What other films did we watch today? It was kind of nice just watching films.
This is when you outsmart them and you don't buy water and you instead just pass out of dehydration.
Or you bring your own water. Well, I don't know about, because in Valley Fair you can bring your own water bottle. You can bring your own water bottle, but you can't bring water.
We have lost objective butter.
But legally,
Just
every store that sells, or every vendor that sells water, or like vending pop, has to give you water in your water bottle by law. And I was like, yes, because they want to avoid lawsuits.
Yes, because if I pass out of dehydration at the Valley Fair, then it's their fault because there was no water there. I just summoned Frey, and the bird went away. I thought you were gone.
Hear me.
No offense, Nathan.
Hmm.
I thought you were gone.
Oh. I said I was gone for like my place, so I don't know.
I thought you were going to your dorm. I'm sorry. I don't remember how
Oh, okay.
the weekday schedule works
Anyway,
anymore
hi,
because
Snipey.
you were
Hope
back
you're
for
doing
a
well.
month and then my brain forgot how it all works.
Yeah. Alright, let me, cause I got a new schedule too.
Okay, let me just DM it and it'll be saved in our archive so I know how our weekdays work for the rest of this epic comedy. Nathan, do you love poetry?
Not particularly.
Yeah, maybe it's random. No, Sinky was talking about how much she hates poetry.
See, like,
Right,
overall,
Sinky?
poetry's lovely, and it can be really awesome. Like, I don't mind reading a sonnet, or
It's when you gotta write one.
pentameter. I hate writing it. I hate writing it. This is why I like
6th grade writing. We had to
Writing
write
essays.
a haiku after every weekend,
See?
saying what we did. And I was like, do I look like I can write a haiku?
a haiku's not that bad.
Of what I did
Because it's
every
3
weekend?
lines.
That you imply I did something every weekend.
Because a haiku's 3 lines. No. This poem that I have to write is 19 lines.
It's okay.
No, because then I wrote a poem from my childhood. Okay? It's supposed to be 35 lines because that's what
What
it
is
says
it?
in the book. Okay? Yeah,
What
Cynthia,
does
you
it
can
mean?
really shorten this.
Ma'am,
Ma'am.
you told me to make it.
What the heck? I wrote 35 lines because it said write a poem, write a childhood memory, in 35 lines. That is what I did.
Stop giving me instructions!
Yeah, you know, 'cause there are
Got
a few
it.
places
Okay,
where
cool.
you could, I was like, really? Really? No, because then I had to ask whether or not I liked my poem, and I was like, no.
Do I look like I like my poem, ma'am?
I don't do poetry
I
here.
most of my writing is pure garbage.
We don't
Do
deal
I
in
am here
poets.
to like this?
We curse the
because-
name
Valid.
Edgar Allan Poe.
Because my work is
Weird.
not Bronte, or Dickens, or Tolstoy, okay? It's not at that level. No, but I was thinking, I was like, if, like, somebody says my writing is fine, and I was like, wow, that's really nice to hear, but, like, fine is not what I'm looking for.
Yeah, I guess.
I am looking for something a little bit above fine, okay? Yes, I'm holding myself to a high standard. Because I am not just a fine person, okay? I am a fantastic person.
Darn right.
See, you
That's the
see how I
spirit,
spin that to be a
Sinky.
positive? Like, I'm really critical of myself, but, like, I also,
No.
you know... I died.
F.
We have lost objective apples.
Yeah, so
I'm
they're like,
gonna
yeah,
nerd
you
for a
should really
moment.
see
I'm
Joker.
sorry,
And I was
Percy
like, no, thank
Jackson
you.
is trending on Twitter
Oh, sweet, I love it.
because the Percy Jackson show is officially coming to Disney Plus, which means he's probably done writing it.
No.
We have taken objective
There, like, Disney Plus showed, like, a little trailer, or,
And
like,
I put it in general chat, the tweet that stuff happened.
Disney Plus has got so many things coming up. Like, what the heck?
The tweet's me.
Okay, who's the tweet by? Is it from Rick Riordan?
No,
Okay.
I just Disney is officially.
I know, if somebody was like, Cynthia, your writing is fine. Ma'am, fine is not what I'm going for. Okay? That is not what I'm shooting for.
Who isn't rolling on the loot in this stupid pandemonium run?
So I
I'm wondering what I should upgrade.
so I follow Stephen King
You
on
and-
Twitter, and Stephen
Good.
King was trending for a little bit, and so he tweets, "Wow, I can't believe I'm trending," and then like 5 minutes later, and he goes, "Well, I was trending."
Aw.
I was like, yes, I aspire to be Stephen King, not write terrible novel or not terrible novels, scary novels, but I aspire to be Stephen King. Because Stephen King is awesome. Yeah, if somebody's like, yeah, since you're an okay person, is that a compliment? Because that's really not. Maybe it's a backhanded compliment. Because, like, okay is not, like, a real positive thing. Like, you are an
I mean,
okay
depends
human
on your
being.
outlook in life. Like, are you a glass half empty or a glass half full on that? Really?
Oh, true.
The glass is always empty in front of me because I drink everything.
We have lost objective.
Poor Stephen King, yes. Oh, shoot.
Anyways, cool.
I'm sorry, more Twitter trends.
Okay.
The Super Bowl. is asking for dancers to prefer or to volunteer. Emphasis on volunteer. 72 hours of unpaid time to perform at the Super Bowl.
Ugh.
That's right. They want you to do all that for free.
But can you imagine
like
what
you're
that would be
sure.
like
You
on
know
your
what
resume,
everyone's
though?
saying?
On your
everyone's
resume?
saying?
Be like, yeah, I danced at the Super
everyone's
Bowl
saying?
halftime show.
Yeah, but it's not like
You know what
if they
everyone's
don't
saying?
pay you at the Super Bowl, they're not going to pay you anywhere.
You
Well,
know
I
what
know,
they're
I'm
saying?
just saying, okay?
Everyone's saying no.
You were telling me you
I'm not
don't
gonna
have
do
any-
that if you're not gonna pay me.
Yeah. You're saying you don't
Well,
have the
especially
money.
because, like, I mean, if this was, like, kids or, like, even teens, but they're probably asking for adults, which means they have to give up time that they could be working, you know?
Yeah. Time is money, literally.
Because, like, I don't necessarily think, like, volunteer work is great, like, and, you know, there are a lot of, you know,
I feel like
things that run on
you know,
volunteer work.
You could pay them just a few bucks if you're gonna make them dance at the Super Bowl.
Yeah. No. It's like artists. They'll pay you an exposure.
Oh my goodness! Don't even
Oh yeah,
get
no,
me
when I was in graphic design, he
you
was
an
like,
exposure,
whenever and you're starting up, whenever somebody says that, don't believe them. Go for a different job, get paid.
Go somewhere else.
We're still playing 76 this Saturday, yeah.
Also, paying.
That.
Do you need to run Pandemonium?
I'm legit waiting for these loot rolls, and I lost my pants, and I have to rerun Bird.
You want to run Bird?
Wow, that was a lot there.
I hate Bird.
I lost
gotta
my
run Bird
pants.
anyway.
My pants.
My pants
I
are
lost.
gone.
Wait, when did Neo log in? Oh my goodness, I missed Neo logging in.
Should we
terrible.
recruit Neo to our adventure?
I have to go hug him! No. Anyway, Nathan, new data center means new meme names.
Oh yeah. Alright. Well,
They're
we got
already
eight.
on top of the game. Where is Neo? Is the question of the day. Found him!
Oh dang, I didn't even see him. He was right in my phone, my face, and I didn't see him.
We have to do our customary e-loading.
Even the plug it that way.
We have to do our customary emotes.
If I want kids or not, I get that. I get that. Like,
Wait,
I love
what?
children,
What is this
but then
about
sometimes I
children?
don't love children. And I'm like, yep, nope, this is why I never want kids. You know, like, sometimes they're like, oh my god, so cute. No, it's like why I could never become a teacher.
Well, I'm becoming a teacher for bigger kids.
I
Yeah,
mean, I
I-
feel like it depends on what kind of teacher you're being. If you're like, an
I
adult
mean,
teaching
is
in
it
college,
though? I, like, honestly thought college would be a lot better, but it's really not.
Mine is.
They're still super annoying.
Almost civilized. No, we're not.
Okay, I could never do freshmen. Okay, maybe like I could never do freshmen nor seniors, especially when they're like close to graduating.
So you
Juniors,
just
I could
don't
do.
want anyone.
I could do sophomores and juniors. Like that's what I would do.
We are losing objective apples.
Okay, team, we are supposed to win because we are the Ottoman Empire. Who's Australia? Well, not just Australia. Who are the
Austria?
allies? No, in Gallipoli. Is it the Ottoman?
Oh, no, the Ottomans are the Ottomans. It would be the British and the Australians who are.
is that
the allies.
British?
Yeah, no, I'm saying, who are they against? Who are the Aussies against?
The Ottomans.
We are losing objective butter.
I'm confused.
The Ottomans are here because the British asked them really nicely to fight in this war, so they said yes.
Ah,
And
Oh,
then it
wait,
turned
thank
out
you.
to be terrible.
Okay.
That's what I said, but you know, yes, thank you. Thank you
Okay,
for, thank you for reaffirming what I, reaffirming, what I believed, what I thought was right.
Nothing you believe in, right? Everything's a lie. Come on.
Oh, boom, I got an anti-tank kill. See, you know what? I hate it when I die by an anti-tank grenade, but like, I use the anti-tank grenade so much. Because I just view everyone as tanks.
And rude.
I'm a tank now.
I found your clone again.
See, you could either take it as like an insult, or wow, I'm like super aggressive and really hard to kill. That's a tank.
I don't see a good side on this. Sorry. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I think so. Like when you're like, wow, you're a tank. That's not a bad thing. Should we just go around random people and say, you're a tank, how does that make you feel? How do you feel when I say, you're a tank? What?
You're a tank!
You're quite
Hi, Oxford. I was just wondering if you, like, want to help me do a study. I want to see what people would think, or if, you know, how people feel if I, when I call them, are they a tank?
Anyways, Koopa, are you ready for...
I don't know how I would personally feel about that.
I guess it would, like, depend on the context.
I mean, I don't know.
Because, like, I feel like in some like, if you're a tank in a tank, wow, you're a tank! Thank you for stating the obvious.
Wow, you
or
guys?
If you're, like, on, like, a, you know, like, a multiplayer game, you know, Overwatch, where you are playing a tank, wow, you're a tank, thanks!
Thanks, Captain Umby.
Thank you for sharing that.
We need more healers in Overwatch, alright? So you switch. No.
We need healers. No. But we need healers.
Then play
no,
healer.
see, my favorite thing is when I'm playing random heroes, and then somebody be like, we need hero. We need a hero. Or not a hero. We need a healer. And I'm like, who?
But it's random.
Do you not know how this works?
Die.
Like, okay, if you want to be healer, keep dying until we get a healer. Okay?
So that way we can prevent ourselves from dying.
That's the spirit.
Anyway, hello everybody, welcome. I'm eating a banana. Maybe bananas are my Snickers, you know.
I'm just running
Eat a banana, you're not you when you're hungry.
Please help.
Sinky, what's the best combo with French fries?
Well,
okay, see, French fries are really great, with nacho cheese, like that's pretty good.
Burger.
I mean, I hate having hamburgers. Hold on, guys, I'm eating a banana.
Burger.
We got through that much.
Okay, see, I hate having hamburgers without French fries, because I feel like, not necessarily, with every time I have French fries, I want a hamburger, but every time I have a hamburger, I'm like, I need French fries. You know? Isn't that weird?
No. You just been conditioned by burger.
Oh my goodness, I did my own conditioning.
Yes.
He's got a point, Chief.
It's like, I've conditioned Jack on multiple times. Every time I come home, he knows he gets a treat. He gets a bone. Every time.
Well, you fool!
No,
it just makes me feel happy because then he's like super excited. He's super excited when I come home.
But is he excited for the bone?
I mean, I think it's part of it. I think it's both. When I have a hamburger, I need fries. Yes. Or a potato substitute, you know, either tater tots, even though tater tots is the copyrighted word. I need either tater tots or French fries.
Wait a second.
Wait.
What? Hang on, let's check the square chat.
Okay.
We are losing objective butter.
But wait. Wait, there's more. Wait, there's more.
I've never seen something not into it.
There are at least 4 people named.
Objective butter.
We're multiplying.
There are only 5 servers over there, so all you need is someone to go on the last one, name
How
them
is
that,
Mini
and you
Gangets
have...
and the kittens? I hate mashed potatoes. You know,
remember we had
so
the
does
Garvsauce
one of my
army?
sisters. And I don't actually understand that. Well, I do understand
What's
that, but I
going
don't.
on? Either eating Crystal Wild and on Ocean.
What's the new server called?
Materia.
Did you already say that?
Yes.
I said it yesterday, but you probably weren't listening.
Okay, I was like, girl, what's with the attitude? Like, wow, ma'am, your attitude's at like a 7. I need you at a 2, okay?
I already said that.
Return to the combat area.
And the server names are Bismarck, Ravana, Sephiroth, Sophia, and Thurston, aka the Heavens of Trials.
Rejoice in the glory of
Mashed potatoes are disgusting. See, what about mashed potatoes are disgusting? Okay, is it like the texture of mashed potatoes?
Hey, mashed potatoes are good, and I will
Or did you
also
have
Nathan
like
Dalmas
an experience where you nearly choked on mashed potatoes?
Bum finally got slapped back on congested.
Yeah.
Grenade.
It needed to.
But the RP Koopa.
A flame toolkit is available near your location.
Also, Koopa, as I'm running around here in Fafnir.
Oh, never mind.
Where is Dead 1 and Dead 2?
You and Pangu
to
chose
pick
violence when y'all woke up today.
Korea, where the airship is.
I choose
spaceship.
violence
Go to the
every
spaceship.
day. I'm just kidding,
Everything
I don't. I'm
spaceship.
not a violent person.
I love Sorry.
Oh my god, no, we're reading a poem today! And
Did you say you're not a violent person?
Yeah, I said I'm not a violent person. No, so there was this poem, we were reading this poem, and like, as the introduction, the person who was reading, or, you know, reading the poem out loud, was talking about an experience he had with some type of beetle. And so, like, cause he's like, yeah, I usually don't, like, harm beetle, you know, I don't harm insects, and I was like, that's a lie, I think we all say that, but, like, none of us do. Anyway, so there was one time that, there was this beetle, and it, like, got too close, and so he swatted the beetle away. The beetle ended up on a spider web, and so the beetle died. And I was like, oh my goodness, wow! You hate killing insects, and yet you led to the beetle's death. You were the instigator in the beetle's death. Anyway, I thought that was funny, but that was me, my dark humor.
You dark humor? Never.
Yeah.
Not me.
It's like I saw there's this meme of Stalin, I think. Was Stalin or Lenin the first one? Lenin? Stalin? I can't remember which one it was. No, it was whoever starved him. And it was like this picture of Stalin, and it was like, dark humor is like food. Not everyone gets it.
We have taken objective Butter.
Because he starved a whole bunch of people.
Because he's
an evil person.
evil.
No, so some dude, I don't know who, compared the vaccine mandates and all of that to the Holocaust. So then somebody was like, okay, so I can't believe I actually have to create this, but they created a flowchart of when to talk about the Holocaust. And it was, the question was, are you talking about the Holocaust? Yes. It is okay to refer to it as the Holocaust. Are you not talking about the Holocaust? No. Then don't refer to the Holocaust or say something is similar to the Holocaust, because it is not the Holocaust. And then somebody, because I was reading the comments.
Genocide.
I was reading the comments and they were like, well, like several things were like, the Holocaust, like,
But also, those are the Armenian Cambodians.
The dictator's starving a bunch of Russians. That was terrible, but I can't remember who. But like that. And then what happened to the Chinese under Mao. And I was like, but that's not the Holocaust. Like, those are separate events.
Yeah. Oh, the pigeon war.
No!
No!
It's like when people are like, well, you know, this is like COVID is, you know, this generation's 9/11. I was like, no, it's not.
No, 9/11
not even
9/11.
close.
No, it's not. You don't need to compare it to other things. If anything, if you want to compare COVID to something, well, compare it to the bubonic plague or the Spanish flu. But don't compare it
Actual, you know.
to an act of terror. Like, I mean, I would never say anything is like the Holocaust at all. Like, I mean, it's just...
No, because
no.
nothing will ever...
Holocaust 2.
No, because, no, actually, part of the, for, my individual differences, my psych class, we are doing a little, reaction on, because, there's this one dude, who, he's a professor, and he's like, yeah, there should be you have to get a license before you can become a parent. And I was like, that's not... Cause I was like, well, on one part, I was like, yeah, that's, you know, because A, there are classes for parents, you know, incoming parents. I was like, no, that's not necessarily so bad. Like, that makes sense. Like, we want the, you know, because everyone can be parents, but not everyone should be parents. But then I'm really thinking about it, and I was like, but that's a slippery slope. Because eugenics sounds like a good idea, and the people, like, the original supporters of eugenics...
It sounds good on paper.
Did it for a good reason. Like, we don't want, you know...
Actually...
You know, we want the healthy to survive and all of that, but then it went way far, and I was like, if you start doing that, then it's, you know, then you're going down a slippery slope. You're gonna start, you know, saying, oh, you know what, we don't actually want you to be parent because we don't want any children like you, and I was like, then you're gonna have another Holocaust, and I personally do not want to live through a Holocaust. Yeah, I don't. Call me crazy, but I was like, we are human beings. Like, there's...
Are we?
We are not perfect, but there is somebody who is like, you know, there's like somebody like Menenge, or whatever his stupid face is, the Nazi doctor, in quotes. We were talking about him, and when we were talking about him, my professor called him doctor, and I was like, Can we not use that word?
Pretty sure he violated every
Can we not use that word, doctor? Yeah, he might get a doctorate, but he is not a doctor. You know,
he
no.
might be.
No. That man scares me. I was reading a list of, like, facts you don't know about the Holocaust. Don't know why. I was looking at this, and I was like, oh my god! This man is awful! And I was, but, you know, thinking about it, I'm like, I don't want that to, because, you know, if somebody was like, yeah, okay, you know, you have to have a license to become parents. So maybe we just, like, won't make it possible, so people from other races...
it's kind of like China. Hey, we'll just have one child per child, or per family group. What's the worst that can happen? With the only thing preventing you is a waivable fine. Later.
China, and I think this is actually happening with Japan too. There are not enough because I think in Japan, like, they're way more, like, elderly than babies. And no, because in China, we were also talking about China, and I was like, it's almost as if having a one-child policy was not actually a good idea. Who the funk?
Yes, could have been me.
But yeah, because I was like, yeah, a license for parents. I mean, that kind of makes sense. You know.
Yeah, it's like good on paper, but then also realize classism.
Like we are like human beings. Like if it was created by robots and humans had no say in it, you know, well maybe if the robots like could not make any, you know, mistakes or anything. But I was like,
no, actually,
since we are all humans. Continue. You can continue.
An experiment where they were trying to create an unbiased robot for judging things. They keep trying to do this to figure out how self-driving cars will work and stuff.
Oh yeah.
Whatchamacallit, a big issue that they ran into is that, since the program, no matter how advanced the AI is and what its algorithms use, the algorithms and the AI itself were created by a human.
Oh yeah, no.
You're always going
meaning that it's always going to have human bias and judgment.
Yes, I'm like it. We are human beings, and maybe not all of us, and maybe the majority of us aren't complete meanie butts. one person or two people are gonna be like, oh, I can use this to my advantage and, you know, have the master race survive.
Yeah.
And then we fall back to the same pattern, and then we haven't really learned anything, and then I was like, yeah, I don't want to live through, you know. World War III is probably going to happen eventually. I don't necessarily want to live through it. So, yeah, no, I'll pass on the licensing, parent licensing. I'll pass. Thank you, though. Thank you. Thank you. But yeah, I was like, yeah, that, you know, because even like at the beginning movement, like beginning parts, or like the beginning of eugenics, like Theodore Roosevelt was a supporter of eugenics, and some other people were, like, that were considered progressive. And I was like, wow, it's almost as if, you know, political parties, you know, from back in the day don't actually really matter today. Wow. But I was like, yeah, because it kind of makes sense, but, like, people take it to the extreme, and then we have an issue. We have several issues that can come from it. Like, yeah, no, I don't necessarily want to, yeah, no. Thankfully, we are not human. Yeah, I'm glad we're aliens, Kristen.
You're on about it. I've played enough of it. But anyways, Pink.
No.
Wait, are you there? Do you want to run the bird?
Not
We both
really.
need to run the bird. Or any over at the pandas.
Not really.
But good DPS / co-tank.
Can I just say I'm still really, well, okay, there are two things I am salty about, okay? I am salty that Avatar, well, I'm actually salty that Avengers and all the other stupid movies that beat Titanic for the best grossing movie.
Yay.
I'm still, like, I am always going to be salty about that, okay, alright. Titanic is far better, but whatever, it's fine. You know what else I'm gonna be salty about, Kristen? Nathan, this doesn't necessarily apply to you because you probably don't know who I'm talking about. Joe Nathan will miss the Hall of Fame in his first ballot.
I had a Hall of Fame?
And everyone, all the Twins fans are pissed. Because this happened to Johan Santana. Okay, he got left out because you have to have 7% of the votes or more to remain on the ballot. And I'm like, I'm gonna be completely honest. I was the Hall of Fame really has, well, it's a joke, really.
Yeah, because I know someone is mad because someone on the ballot who gets to stand.
Well, it's who votes for the ballot.
He hasn't even covered
the
baseball in like over a decade.
It's a joke. Everyone is saying that they should be.
I was like, so why are you still allowed to participate in this?
But yeah. It's so stupid. One of the best relievers, but he's not Mariano Rivera, and he didn't play for the Yankees.
He didn't wear,
he didn't wear pinstripes. Pisses me off.
But who are these?
But actually, Barry Bonds might get it, and I'm actually okay with that.
He had a career before he cheated, so.
Plus, somebody else was like, if you don't include him, then you're kind of like not talking about it. You know, you're like hiding it. And I was like, that's a really good point.
You gotta own up to your own demons.
Yeah. Y'all are aliens. I am a potato. That's nice. It's nice to be a potato.
Well, she is a Lalafell, technically.
It's really nice to be a potato, you know. No, actually, you know what I love about potatoes? Is that you can do a lot of things with them. So, like, if I could only eat one thing, I would eat potatoes.
You guys want my potato tacos? I make good potato tacos.
What are taters?
When you see long ago.
And, did you know that tater tots is trademarked?
It is.
Yeah. They are, like, non-trademarked. They have been called potato poofs. I think potato crowns.
Delicious puffs.
Yeah, you learn something new. I mean, I've learned that forever. But one of my professors didn't know that because I was talking about potatoes for some reason. I don't think it was related. And he was like, why are you talking about potatoes? And I was like, did you know tater tots is copyrighted? And he was like, what? And I was like, yeah, I know! You learn something new every day? Speaking of that, I've done terrible on my facts. My goodness. I have so many facts saved on my phone, and yet I don't do them. Oh well, still love you. They're coming.
For his neutral special, Joker wields gun.
Theodore Roosevelt was secretly a carrot? Theodore Roosevelt was the macho man. Because I think like he was shot one time and then he was like, I gotta continue my speech.
Yeah, he was shot in the chest and his glasses case saved him because they made him out of steel back then. And, what do you call it? He wanted to finish the speech that day. You know, because he technically wasn't shot, even though he was.
And then you had that one president who got sick and died from...
Super malaria.
Yeah. Giving his speech out in the cold, and then, you know, whatever. I think that's what happened. Somebody died in office. He got sick.
The funny thing is, like, with all of these memes, is, like, when you really think about it, it wasn't until more recently, like, around this, the 19th, or I don't know how centuries work, but 1900s onwards, to where presidents
20th.
actually became a really huge figure. With the exception of the Civil War, for obvious reasons.
Yeah. I know, that's, like, why you don't know a lot of, like, probably
The early
4 through 13. I mean, I think people know Andrew Jackson, but that's because Andrew Jackson was... I couldn't tell you what president he was. Yeah, because most of the time, I mean, honestly, if you're not, like, known for, like...
Again, the Civil War. I mean,
sometimes, like, leaders aren't supposed to be known, you know? Because, like, there are sometimes, like, you know... Like, yeah, they didn't really do much, but, you know...
They may not have done much, but hey, they didn't make anything worse, so...
Yeah, I mean, you know, a lot of the presidents I do, well, not a lot, but some of them I only know because they were awful. Or I think they were awful, aka Ronald Reagan.
The thing is, like, it wasn't until later to where a lot of power became executive. Yeah. Most of it was legislative. Especially because due to, I don't remember if it was the Federalists or the Anti-Federalists, I never remember. I always get it mixed up. But, whatchamacallit, a lot of power was decentralized.
Anti-Federalist.
There we go.
She instantly...
I don't deal in these sort of geopolitics. I am the law.
Hang on now.
Fear me, mortals.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, Nathan, were you a part of the conversation when we were first talking about Avatar? Not Avatar, the James Cameron Avatar.
The one with the blue people.
No.
No, because we were watching a scene from it in my screenwriting class, and then somebody, this was like a topic of conversation. So is this like colonial? You know what I think about when I see this scene? I just think colonialism, and I was like, whoa, really? I had no idea.
He gets to the point of a rip-off of Mohasta for the Mohicans.
Yeah, you know, is this like, you know, like a take on it? It's like, Chris, remember, in my, I was like, wow, okay, it's not even like hinted that it's colonialism. It is colonialism. It's like blatantly obvious. If you don't know what this is, like, if you don't... Yeah, this isn't very subtle. It's not even groundbreaking either. It's not.
No, because it's the first one, and it's really just, why didn't they just fight them? And it's like, no one expected the absolute brutality of which people would resort to methods just for a tiny bit of land.
No, and then somebody, there was apparently a review who called Avatar, Pocahontas in space. Not space. Oh. I don't think space was the word, because it's not in space, but you know. Well,
I think they still use space, even though, yeah.
But I was like, wow, I had no idea that
Mega
Avatar, my God, was colonialism. Wow, I am so
colonialism today?
shocked. No, and no, Nathan, when we were talking in my psych class, we were talking about eugenics. Somebody was like, so, is this similar to what the Nazis did?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what they did.
Is this similar? No, honey, this is what they did.
Like, that's why no one well, no, I guess not no one likes eugenics, but that's why, actually, it's super interesting. Because eugenics first came to popularity in, like, the early 1900s.
Yeah. You actually see it a lot in RDR 2, and a little bit in RDR 1.
And, but if you look at, the name Eugene was also super popular because EU is, like, good or something. It means good, or I can't remember what it means, but anyway. It's a positive thing. But then after, or during and sort of after, World War I, Eugene, the name, for some reason, was not popular. I'm like, huh, I wonder why.
Well, no, the funny thing is, whatchamacallit, again, the eugenics movement, I think, either started somewhere in Europe and made it to a very high popularity in America, or it started in America and spread to Europe. I always forget which one it goes to. I don't have the documents on me, but, whatchamacallit, pain. But, research pain aside, whatchamacallit, there was actually a weird time period in where, whatchamacallit, we were extremely fascist. Or not fascist, but fascist ideals.
Oh yeah, no.
And, actually during the early war period after World War I, a lot of, Hitler was banking on was that the US wouldn't join the war for two reasons. A, we don't like fighting the war, and B, all of them were still kinda okay with the fascism.
Yeah, no, I would've, I mean, I love Minnesota, but, whew!
Oh yeah, I forgot, you guys had a huge sack, didn't you? Or...
Whew! There were some several issues!
Yeah.
And I am glad. Plus, no, there was this one guy, who was a big believer in eugenics, and then when, like, what Hitler was doing for, like, the master race, somebody with high standing in Minnesota sent Hitler a letter saying, hey! Well, okay, obviously he did not say hey, but I really like what you're doing, and, like, I wish you the best.
And, this was actually kind of a world/nationwide problem, depending on where you're in the world. Because a big issue was, whatchamacallit, for example, in Britain, one of the disgraced people of the king, like he was technically, he stood down or something, he was literally trying to coup the nation to get back into the royal family, because he was kind of okay with the whole thing and just Hitler in general. And then on the US side, there was actually a little bit of information trade, because even though we fought Germany in World War I, we weren't exact, like, hard enemies, really. The more actual, funnily enough, hatred towards each other came from the Prohibition movement rather than World War I.
The Prohibition movement, that definitely worked out in the end.
Yes, with no flaws.
Oh, you mean it didn't actually work out in the end?
But, whatchamacallit, a lot of the technology was actually shared over from American technology over into, Germany. And one of the things of technology, which was infamously used later for, said topic earlier, was over in a, around Texas and New Mexico, the southern border. Basically, the US was having a giant fear at time of other people moving in. Man, never had the situation again, ever have that nonsense. But, so what they did is they, would literally be like, well, what if the people coming here are also dirty and evil? So what they did is they put them in giant cramped chambers, and they basically sprayed them down with, basically a proto-DDT. And we know that stuff's, like, terrible for the environment and health, and it's why we don't use DDT anymore. So, lots of health complications and later cancers. But whatchamacallit, it was so effective at spraying at people that it was later literally the exact documents from, like, I think the original designs were leaked to the Germans and eventually Himmler. And he used it as the base for the gas chamber.
Do you want to know why, a reason why they switched to the gas chamber? Because they were executed.
Yeah.
It was because the higher-ups believed that it would be too, like, it would, like, the soldiers wouldn't be able to do it. It would be, you know, because who knew that some people would actually not like shooting unarmed, I mean, you could say innocent, but who knows if they would actually believe, who knows, that would actually not be very good on the human conscience.
Yeah.
Wow.
Like, even as deluded as you are, even super crazy has its limits.
Wow! Really, I had no idea!
The bird.
Look.
And so they had to come up with another way to, so it wouldn't be demoralizing for the soldiers. And I'm like, when you have to come up with a way, you know, to take out innocent people because you're worried about how this will affect your soldiers, maybe, just maybe, you shouldn't be doing it in the first place. But no, of course not. You know,
no, we have logic, that's not allowed.
Of course not. And, oh shoot, who was the president after World War II? The dude...
Was it Eisenhower?
Was it Eisenhower? It might have been Eisenhower, because Eisenhower's what I'm thinking about.
I always forget completely.
Whoever was the president, Eisenhower, he was afraid that people would eventually not believe the Holocaust happened, so he ordered all the photos to be taken. They were like, no, take it! Get evidence! We gotta get evidence! Because people, for some reason, may not believe the Holocaust exists, it, you know, happened, so we gotta take as many photos as we can. Okay, take photos.
Also, I always say this wrong, but the Nuremberg trial?
Yes.
Yeah, those were about to happen and such, so they also really needed to get everything down to make sure no one could just be like, I didn't
part
do
of
that.
me, I'm like really glad, because this is like the first time, well, I guess not the first time, but like a time where people were actually, like, people of power who did terrible things were actually put, you know, they actually got justice. But also, the Allies were kind of terrible too! Like I said, I always say, you know, more people died in the bombing of Tokyo, the firebombing of Tokyo, than they in Hiroshima and Nagasaki, and yet no Allied forces were like, maybe this wasn't good either. You know, no, it's fine, it's fine. And so like the Allied forces did some like not great things, especially to a lot of innocents.
Later parts of the tribunal, granted, nowhere near as much as with the other team because of Nazis, but whatchamacallit.
But again, it's all about who wins.
Some people were tried for war crimes, but with the fire bombs, they were just kind of like, meh. Especially the bomb.
But like, I'm really glad that the trials happened because, you know, we want people to put in place, you know,
Curie Marie did not die for this. Slash, well, technically Einstein wasn't dead yet, but...
Actually, I think it was Einstein. He was in first support of it, but then after seeing the destruction, he was like, "Ooh, maybe we shouldn't have done this."
No, you know what's bad? When even Oppenheimer, when I am become deaf, I don't want to do this.
Yeah.
Man, we are getting bird down.
It's week 6. People gathered by this point.
Gosh darn it.
We're evolved, Kupo. Yes. Smooth runs, let's go.
Oh, I didn't promise smooth runs.
So, moral of the conversation is that humans are terrible people.
Don't be evil.
We've made mistakes in the past, and we should hopefully learn from them.
But I don't understand what this learning is.
Yeah, I don't understand.
And I caught
Wait,
Troubadour
so,
too
Kristen,
soon.
by learning, do you mean erase everything from the history books?
I got an eraser and some whiteout.
No, did you see another state? Or another, they wanted, equal, like, they wanted both sides of the story to be heard. Again!
Whatchamacallit, yeah.
I talked about this with Nathan when I was
Yeah.
training.
No, because it happened again!
I know. We
And I was
talked
just
about
like,
it. We had a serious discussion.
okay, so
sat
we are
down
going to be
and we were
reading
like,
the
all right.
Diary of Anne Frank, but alongside that, we are going to be reading Mein Kampf. Oh, and then we're going to be reading I'm sure Menenge had something written down. We're going to talk about him, and his
But
experiment.
really, you have to teach.
Great
And then
knowledge
I was
given to
like,
the medical field.
It's 2022, and I've got to write this on.
My goodness. I'm like, what? See, I don't necessarily mind. You can say, like, okay, so this is why, this is like, down south, this is why they did slavery. And some people thought, slavery was an economic thing and it was, like, used for this purpose. But, like, you can still say, but it was a terrible thing. Like, Hitler brought Germany out of an economic depression. Yeah, he did that.
Murder.
Way to go. But how did he do this?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I sort of get saying, okay, you need to hear both sides, but you can still say...
You can still condemn it.
This is not good. Like, no, are you kidding me? No.
Wait, somehow our warrior died. Also, I love their name. Their name is Sporkfoon.
God, it's just a joke, because, I mean, you're like...
Yeah.
Like, 6 million people died from this, okay? And that's
11.
just the Jews alone.
Yeah.
That's not even including all the soldiers who were lost and, all that.
Yeah.
But you need to know both sides! Really?
No.
So, then are we going to be talking about the Trail of Tears? Or the Japanese internment camps that happened during World War II?
Poor George K.
Or are we still going to continue the dialogue that Andrew Jackson was a great president?
I seriously cannot wait to get the frickin' Harry Tubman on the 20. Because it's a bit embarrassing to have a supervillain on your 20.
The thing is, even if you're like, okay, alright, like, let's not talk about the Trail of Tears, okay? He went against the Supreme Court. Okay?
Yeah.
The highest law in the land, okay? And the Supreme Court was like, no, you cannot do this. I'm in prison, so I can't.
Make me.
I'm kind of glad they don't, because there are multiple the Supreme Court doesn't actually have a lot of power, or like, I mean, they have like a lot of like authority, like, oh, we're, like, you should listen to us. Why? Because we are the Supreme Court. But, like, in reality, they're like, we can't really do anything with our law. Like, we can say, educate, like, no segregation in the school system, but, like, they can't actually enforce that. And so, at any time, the president can go, yeah, no, I'm not going to listen to you. And the Supreme Court was like, you should. But no. What are you going to do?
Or is that you?
Nothing.
That's you.
Because that's why I don't like Andrew Jackson because he was a racist and all of that and what he did to but because he went against the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court said, hey, you cannot do this, okay? We are making a rule. The court is saying you cannot do this. And what does he do? I'm gonna do it anyway. And then he leads to the death of I don't even know how many Native Americans.
At least in the long run.
Yeah.
Too many.
Too many. One too many, but way too many. That's why I don't like Andrew Jackson. Like, no, what?
There are many reasons not to.
Yes, even if we ignore the fact that he led this, he was not supposed to do that.
Yeah.
No, he was told he could not do this.
Is that we didn't go on the net that year, but the reason is just because we didn't spend any money, like roads, because he thought that just people should go on the streets and build the roads for them.
I just want to say something. So in the 80s and 90s, well, I think 70s, 80s, and 90s, after Carter, America first had a debt of $1 trillion was because of Reagan. Do you know who eliminated the debt in the 90s and had the most jobs available and the most people working?
FDR
Clinton eliminated the debt.
Okay.
But we don't talk about that. This is why I like Clinton. I don't like his person. But like what he did for the country, for the most part, we can talk about the 3 strikes you're out. we can talk about that later. Oh my goodness.
Alright, I need pants. 98. Yeah, baby.
See, Nathan, it's a good thing we weren't running because we would be competing for pants.
And I would have won. Let's go.
It is so weird. We're competing for pants, guys.
Oh no.
I need
okay.
We want pants. I lost my pants, so we need the pants.
The end game content. No matter what situation it is, we cannot get pants.
See, it's just really funny because I honestly have no idea what you're talking about.
We need pants.
No idea what we are talking about.
What would the world be like without pants? I'm just glad belts are gone.
Oh my god, what would the world?
Without
Without pants.
pantless.
But like,
Shorts
does that
only.
like get rid of like skirts?
Okay, well,
and
that's
then
actually
like
a
what
good
about
question.
dresses? Like what would? Do we just like not have dress? Like you know,
I say
That's just
exclusively
Everyone's
pants.
strip.
everyone go butt naked.
Well, I mean, if you're
Because
a news
Kristen, there are
column, you're
no
in-
issues with that whatsoever. It is a flawless thing.
Wait, don't you? What's the temperature outside right now?
Oh, should I see? It's super cold. I think we're still under a winter advisory.
I believe we're under a wind chill.
Oh, I got brought back into a different.
Okay, so Augsburg is still telling me to go out and like do like study over
So
abroad,
glad you
study
asked.
abroad.
Hey, I'll have you know, it's 4 degrees right now.
They're telling me to study
Imagine.
abroad, and I'm like, do you
Okay.
not know what's going on?
Study abroad. Okay, there's a global pandemic though.
Oh god, that's so funny.
so
We don't want you here. Okay, but like, hear me out.
Cruises are still going on, or they're just now
Yeah,
starting.
and they keep getting
but
shut
one of
down
them
because-
couldn't like dock because like 20 people had COVID aboard, and everyone's
Oh.
like, "Wow, who
Oh,
would
I
have
lied,
thought?"
Nathan. My phone updated. It's actually -1. Feels -17. Yeah, that's more like it.
I was like, who in their right mind thinks, you know what, now's a good time to go on a cruise? And a lot of people are like, okay, it's never a good time to go on a cruise.
No.
Cause like,
Okay, yes.
like, I mean, I've heard like food poisoning, but like you are,
Don't eat the shrimp.
I've seen Titanic too many times to go on a cruise. I mean, like,
Well, I'm just generally really afraid of the ocean.
true,
Especially the open ocean.
true.
Because that is nature's land and it has every right to kill me. Because
True.
it can and will.
Okay, so it is 3, but feels like
Need
-15.
2 shirts
Hey,
and
winning! It's -17.
probably a ring. But I'm gonna gun for the shirts first. Alright. Last call for 1, 2, or 4.
Luck was not on our side.
Because I got
Oh,
tank
hi.
juice.
Our resources are depleted.
You wanna...
No, I'm
Still lost
good.
one final
Okay.
We're just having some
Sharpen
chill
your
hours.
hands. Strengthen
Okay.
your will.
And then once I'm done with this, I'm probably
Alright, we're gonna
do some
finish this up and then I'm gonna end it.
It's
Actually,
table time.
I might not finish this round, we'll see.
We are being reinforced
Oof.
with
I was going to say something. What was I going to say?
What's the mean for little make equals?
But yeah, because I'm super excited to watch Star Wars because while we were watching, I was like, oh my god, Star Wars is so great. No, and then the person who liked Revenge of the Sith, was, I have a hot take, the shows are better than any of the movies, and I was like, that's not a hot take. I feel like a lot of people would agree with you. But then again, like, without the movies, you don't have the show. I mean, like, without, you know.
What's not a hot take?
No, like, she said, like, the Star Wars shows are better than the movies. Like, that's not even a hot take, I feel like. I feel like a lot of people would agree with you. You know?
I'd say like that would be a hot take if you were like comparing to the like originals, but definitely from the sequels, that's not even a hot take at all.
I was like, that's not a hot take. I mean, a lot of people would agree with you. You're not that creative. Sorry. All right, you're not that, you know, out there.
But what if... What?
A hot
Ew.
take would be, I think the sequels are better than the prequels. I'm sorry, if you ever say that, I'm like, are you
be...
Stay out of the gene pool. Stay out of the gene
lie.
pool, okay? I don't need any more people like you in the world. Speaking about eugenics.
Eugenicist. It's in Minnesota and you, it's coming out.
I was like, but that's not really a hot take. But okay, if you think it's a hot take, then it can be a hot take.
No. What if I base my entire personality on trying to be different from everyone at any cost, even if it doesn't make sense?
The sequels are great! What do they ship? What's the ship name between Kylo and, Rey? That's better than... I don't think there was a ship name for Han and Leia. And then, what's the, ship name for Anakin? Is there a ship name? I don't actually know ship names.
I think that's the name of it.
They're endgame, they're the best relationship. Because they have so much chemistry between each other and so many scenes together. I actually don't know how many scenes they are. Or another hot take would be the sequel trio. It is the best trio. Yeah, like
Girl,
the
you
person
wanna
who
die?
plays Finn and Poe are not dying on the inside. Wow. Yeah.
Palpatine coming back is the best thing that's ever happened to Star Wars.
And it makes
because it makes so much sense that he comes back to life.
With the words of somehow being great writing.
Somehow Palpatine came back is literally the line.
Rey Skywalker's the best character in Star Wars.
Even though she's not technically a Skywalker at all. I'm gonna try doing that one time though. They're gonna be like, so what's your name? My name is Cynthia Gates. Yep, I am a relative of the Bell Gates family. Yep, that's me. Oh, I can't do that? That's not how it works? Well then. Maybe we should like, who wrote the script for Skywalker? Maybe we should actually like worry, do they not know what identity theft is? Like that could be an issue too. They're like, what? What's identity theft? I don't know what's identity theft. Let's see, what are some other really bad takes about Star Wars? Guys, can you hear me?
No.
Okay, you guys like went really quiet, and I was like, oh crap.
I was trying to think of who actually wrote the movies, and I don't actually know who was on the writing
Because
team.
I don't even know who did. Abrams did. Did he do the entire trilogy? I actually don't know.
No, they just left them out of 2. Reasons, I don't know. Also,
Well, see, another thing another complaint from like is that like the first one, what even the first one's called, it was like too much like A New Hope, and then the sequel wasn't The New Hope, and they were like, well, now it's nothing like the originals. What? What do you mean? What? What's going on? But again, I haven't seen the I mean, not a hot take. Jar Jar is the Sith Lord.
When we do our marathon, should we, call it? Are you sure? They're fun.
Immediately, nope. I don't want to watch the sequels.
See, like, there are
we
some...
watch it at 4 times speed.
I just, like, do I even want to put myself through that? Like, I had at one point Duke Nukem Forever on my list because, A, it's on PlayStation Now, and it's an awful game. I'm gonna play it. I'm like, why do I want to put my life through that? Like, why do I want to go through that again? Like, no, I'm not playing that, so I took it off my list. And I think that's like similar with Star. Will I enjoy this at all? Probably not.
Who wrote the new Star Wars trilogy?
It was me.
Well, it'll be multiple people, but there'll be one person who. That's a dead body.
Who wrote the new Star Wars sequels? The first one, The Force Awakens.
Force Awakens,
by Lawrence Kasdan, J.J. Abrams, and Michael Arndt. The Last Jedi was written by Rian Johnson.
Okay.
And that's the one people said kind of ruined everything.
Yeah.
And then The Rise of Skywalker was written by J.J. Abrams and Chris Terrio. But it's that second movie that kind of ruined everything because it did
Because the first movie had
so many bad
potential,
things.
It just kind of left a lot
The
of
first
holes.
one
Which
did
one
have
does Luke
potential.
die in? Does Luke die in the second
Second one.
Yeah.
The second one just ruined too much.
And he tried to kill a kid because he believed he had too much darkness in him.
Something that Mark Hamill said Luke would never actually do.
Because he saved
I know,
Darth
I honestly
Vader.
love it. You know if something is wrong when the people who
We have taken
are in it hate the movie. Like, you know something's gotta be wrong then, you know?
I mean, John Boyega was very inky after the films were all, but he hated what they did with Finn.
the sector.
And he made it clear that it was like,
I mean,
when
there
I
are
joined
some-
the film
like, there are
series,
some
I was super
films that,
excited. And then
you
I got
know,
to play the
some
role
actors say,
and not so
"Oh,
excited
are
anymore.
awful," but like when, I think like all of the actors are like, yeah, no.
This is bad, Chief.
Yeah, like a stormtrooper turned good is a hell of an arc. Like almost kind of like a
What
Darth
did they do with
Revenant
it?
arc.
Absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
The final
I know, that's
objective
the
is within
thing,
our
it's
reach.
just like, there could have been so much better.
You had all the pieces.
You could have been so good.
You were the
had
chosen
a
one.
You had
soldier working for the bad guy, realizing that he's working for the bad guy, and then switch sides. That's not new, but like,
But you
it's
can
a
still
great
make it
story.
good. Like, it's such a cliche, but like, if you write it out pretty decently.
It is a great story.
Oh, in 6, doesn't Celis technically work for the Empire?
Yeah, she does. But then,
Yeah.
in
Doesn't.
perfect writing,
Cause like that's why I love the
it's
Anakin
such a
Skywalker's
cliche. But
arc.
if it's
Done well.
decent, if it's written well, it's not so bad.
Just like I'm the chosen
you know what we
one.
need, even though
No.
it'll turn into an ultimate fight, we need to get OSP to do a female.
Oh my goodness, absolutely. I would love to hear.
I mean, they've probably been asked 50 times, but still. Next poll. Ow. Or next
But
bad
we
movie
still
poll.
might get some more out of Poe, Rey, and Finn. No,
Will we though?
Yeah, and I'm like, who's gonna play them? The dude who plays
Me.
Finn isn't gonna play Finn.
No, because he ain't very.
That ship has sailed. He burned the bridge. I mean, rightly so. But he burned it.
Bridge to burn.
He made it clear that he was not gonna.
I don't know
And-
why Daisy Ridley would return. The community, I mean, I feel so bad for the actors.
She luckily did kind of get her own thing going. I mean, she kind of did, but
Yeah, her
started doing VA
ironically
work
Kylo are
instead.
actually starting to do other things.
She
so that-
did manage to get her own some roles.
But I'm like,
that
I
still
don't
have
know why
purpose.
anyone would want to do that. Like, why?
She managed like,
What
to
is your
get her
problem?
own role going.
Okay, so we'll come back to the universe, but we want Dave Filoni, right, that's his name. We want him to be in charge.
I mean, technically, that's just what Book of Boba Fett is right now.
Well, I know, but like, he actually has done some good
Filoni's carrying
stuff.
Star Wars on his back only because he's writing the content everyone's always wanted.
It's like, we'll do it.
We really
if-
want screen time on Boba Fett, Filoni. Alright, so I have a show for you. We really wanted, we really could use that final
No, I
season
mean,
of
can
the
you
Clone
just
Wars. Don't worry, I
imagine-
got
can you
guys covered.
imagine when
you
does
want
Boba
something
Fett-
on Ahsoka? Oh, don't worry.
When does
Oh,
Boba
chill now.
Fett, when does he die? Like,
Right
the
after
last movie?
Mando, so it's
No,
in between.
when does when does he die in the movie? Cause like, or not
Oh,
die,
when does
but
he
like when
die?
does he get
Yeah.
taken out? I mean, can
In the
you
first, like,
imagine? Like people have
15
seen
minutes.
that, and you're gonna be like, so Boba Fett's actually gonna like, there's gonna be some stuff about him. Why? He's so bright. There's nothing there. It was like such a great like character who like
He's
was
the
so
fearsome bounty
useless.
hunter. Also,
Same with
Boba Fett.
Maul. I'm like, oh my goodness, thank goodness. Cause
I
like,
mean, would it be Boba Fett if he wasn't getting by the story?
yeah.
The prophecy
See
must
that?
be maintained.
I'm just glad Ewan McGregor is coming back. Well, actually, I'm like really glad that he's coming back, but I'm
Oh,
glad
you want
Hayden.
to show on Obi-Wan? Don't worry, you guys. I
I'm
got
just
you
really
covered.
glad Hayden Christensen's coming back because I actually love his portrayal as Anakin. Because he played a moody teen when
And
he
he
was
played it
supposed
like
to
a moody
play
teen?
a moody
No,
teen.
no. Hear me out. What these Tui kids talk too much like kids.
Oh my goodness. Don't even...
I don't know how that guy missed me, but he
You
did.
know the ones with you, and the ones with you, Sinky. Features
Okay.
teenagers, right?
Okay, teenagers.
Teenagers.
Okay. Oh my
Wait,
God, do
what
they
do
talk
we
like teens?
teenagers speak like? Teens. We use
JK.
slang. We use slang. Okay, so in the ones with you
ROFL.
and in Neil, the teenagers do in fact speak like teenagers.
Okay, but
And
do
for
they
some
actually speak
reason-
like teenagers, or do they speak in a way like adults think teens speak?
No, it's
Okay.
very I like
Well, 'cause
playing Neil.
that's
This
just
is
like-
exactly
so,
how a
like-
teenager would
okay,
be portrayed in the year 2020 when they wrote this. And so, for some reason, a very minor part of the community got mad that the teenagers do in fact
Oh my
act
God.
like teens.
Oh my
Like,
goodness.
Me playing it as a teenager, you know, as an older teenager.
Yeah.
I love it because it's so accurate to what kids do.
You mean you don't actually say evermore and, you know, other
I don't. I mean,
ye
it's-
olde English?
And I
Evermore's not
oop.
ye olde English, but you know.
And it's like they actually
Well,
like took the
far out
time
though.
to write out these teenagers, like actual teenagers. And I was like, thank you for this.
Anyways, I need to get a shirt on the next two.
You know, it's kind
Go
of
get
like,
your
you know, like
shirt.
with
Let's see what
young
shirt
Skywalker.
you're
Oh my God, he's so annoying. Then he did it right, okay? He is a child who never really was taught how to be a child.
Boss, you killed the child.
Yeah, I just love Hayden Christensen, but I'm like completely biased. Like, I love several of his movies, and they weren't very good. And I'm like, pshaw, yeah, they were.
Fight again someday.
Jumper? Okay, I actually really enjoy Jumper.
Peoples under the yoke of these imperial despots is a cause that
I actually can't remember what else he was in. Alright.
That thing with the war. No,
Oh my goodness, the Ottomans won when they weren't supposed to win.
it's the Oracle Schmidt.
The narrator. So this wouldn't have actually
Wait, I
worked.
thought you were in Gallipoli.
No, see, Nathan, what's so great about this game is that when you finish a map, you
I didn't know
go
you
to
finished. I
another
just
map.
thought you were still in it.
I mean, it's really awesome and I think unique and rare that when you finish a map, you go
What
to
do
a
you
different
mean?
map.
How do I know you're not on a Gallipoli 24/7 server?
What do you mean? Sinky?
And then this is when somebody realizes that the match he was playing was a all the time 365 day. This is the map we're going to be playing in.
A bamboozle.
We got a 5 out of 36 major defeat. But we were 4th best squad. Let's go.
Yikes.
Go Ottoman! No, actually, Kristen, for the first map, if the Ottomans win, they're like, okay, maybe this would have happened. But like for every
For
other
the-
Ottoman, they're like,
The
no.
narrative. So this wouldn't have actually worked.
If Germany wins the Argonne Forest, so this actually really probably wouldn't do
It delays
anything.
the inevitable.
And it's the same with Russia too. When one of the Russians went, okay, so like, yeah, no,
Oh yeah,
no.
it's like, yeah, no, the encroaching armies would decimate.
Yeah, no. The Bolshevik Revolution would happen. It's just a matter of when.
Oh man. No. You know how whatchamacallit, how BF1 had the elites?
Yeah.
Where you could pick up the gear and become
Yeah.
You get to become Trotsky.
No, that's what I miss about from Battlefield 2042. I'm like, there's no operations.
Really?
Yeah, well, because what battles are they gonna take place? Because like that's what
Yeah.
Battlefield. I said I was quitting. Excuse me. Okay, so anyway.
going again.
When you see this, good morning, good
No,
afternoon,
just
good
eat
evening, and
some
good
more.
night. I would stay, but I have to eat and then go to class. We probably won't. I probably won't stream anything
tonight.
Back in the party, probably.
But I'll probably be back in the party, unless it actually goes till 9:30. I hope it doesn't go till 9:30. This is our first actual discussion, so we'll see. Alright, peace out. And Snipey, if you're still here, go to bed.
Seconded.
Nathan, do we have a third? We do not have a third. Okay, whatever, it's fine. Oh shoot, I hate